Math lesson 8.2. Good morning, boys and girls. Today's math lesson starts on page 547. It's lesson 8.2. We're not going to do this page unless you still happen to have those color squares you cut out yesterday. Then you can go ahead and do this page where you use your squares to make a 4-inch line and trace it, then a 2-inch line and a 3-inch line. If you don't happen to have those paper squares we cut out yesterday, not a big deal, don't worry about it. We're just going to skip this page and start our lesson on the next page. So turn the page to 548 and let's get started. Boys and girls, when using a ruler, it's important that you become familiar with the edge of the ruler where it begins, especially the first inch mark, because some rulers are different than others. Let's put this metal ruler under the magnifying glass. And I'm going to circle the first inch mark. There's 1 inch. Notice that the very beginning line of that inch, we'll call that the 0 line, is right on the edge of the ruler. Now let's compare that to another ruler. Let's take a look at the wooden ruler. Notice for this inch mark, there's just the tiniest bit of space between the edge of the ruler and where the first inch begins, which I'll point out to you right there. That's where the inch begins. Let's take a look at another ruler. Here's another one made of metal. And again, as you can see, there's a space between the edge of the ruler and where the inch actually begins. So when you are measuring something for length, you need to line the end of it up with this line, not the edge of the ruler. Unless, of course, the edge of the ruler happens to be where that line begins. So here's a little pencil that I'm going to measure. So for this metal ruler, I would need to put the point of the pencil right there up against the inch line where it begins. And let's just make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Notice how the point of the pencil lines up right with this first 0 line, not the edge of the ruler. If you were to line up the pencil with the edge of the ruler and not the 0 line, like so, you would not get an accurate measurement, and whatever you measured would be wrong. However, with this metal ruler, the edge of the ruler is where that line begins. So if you had this kind of ruler, you would line up the edge of the pencil to the end of the ruler. But you need to be careful when doing that because some rulers have their ruler line begin with the 0 line but not the edge of the ruler, as on this wooden ruler. But on this metal ruler at the top, the first 0 line is the edge of the ruler. So you need to know which kind of ruler you have because you don't want to make this mistake and then measure something wrong.
Hi, boys and girls. Elmo here. Elmo loves to measure, and he loves to use his red ruler. Do you have a ruler? I hope so. If you don't, you better go get one. Okay, let's do number 4. Line up your ruler carefully. Did you get 3 inches? Elmo did. Let's do number 5, a thermometer. Elmo has to use a thermometer when he's sick. Line up your ruler carefully. Did you get 4? can count to 4. Let's do the paintbrush. Elmo loves to paint. Line up your ruler carefully. 6 inches! Yay! Now let's do the marker. It's a green marker. Elmo has a friend who is green. Do you know his name? Line up your ruler carefully. Did you get 5 inches? And now let's do number 8. A toothpick. I could use a toothpick if I had teeth. Okay. The toothpick is 2 inches long. Did all your answers agree with Elmo's? Good job. Bye.
For page 548, they want you to create your own ruler. I'm going to give you a choice of which you'd like to do. You can either create your own ruler on a piece of paper using one of the tile squares we cut out from yesterday, or you could use a real ruler to measure out a ruler that you've made on your own, or if you prefer, you can just use a regular ruler for this activity. Once you've decided which kind of ruler you want to use, measure numbers 1, 2, and 3 to their closest inch mark. If you need to, press pause, and when you're ready, you can press play to check your answers. All right, you've pressed play, and it looks like you're ready to check your answers. Hello, boys and girls, it's Mickey Mouse. Let's check your answers. Make sure you line up your ruler carefully with the 0 line lined up to the edge of what you're measuring. Looks like number 1 is 4 inches. Let's go to number 2. Looks like number 2 is 3 inches. Is that what you got, Goofy? Gosh, Mickey, I got 3 too. And number 3 looks like it's about 5 inches. Did your answers match mine? If so, you won a trip to Disneyland. Yay! Now just go tell your parents to take you. Whenever it reopens again. If ever. Boy, it's tough to be a mouse. All right, let's turn to page 550, boys and girls. For number 9, since you're not in the classroom and don't have a classmate next to you, you can do this one with a brother, sister, or one of your parents. Go to one of the windows in your house and measure the length of the windowsill using a regular ruler, and then write down how many inches long it was. For number 10, describe what you did in sentences. Write down how it was that you measured the length of the windowsill using 1 ruler or 2 rulers. What exactly did you do? Since a ruler is only 12 inches long, and your windowsill is probably much longer than that. For number 11, measure the length of the yarn that they show there in the picture, and then bubble in yes or no to answer questions about that piece of yarn. And that completes today's math lesson. Be sure to do pages 551 and 552 in your Go Math workbook. Take a picture of them once you've completed them and upload them to Seesaw.
Bye-bye from Elmo!
Gosh, bye everyone!